Coach versus Dooney and Bourke. Which handbag brand would you choose? Hello everyone, welcome back to another mommy review where I review all things for the love of. Today I am checking out Coach versus Dooney and Bourke. Which handbag brand is better and which one is worth it more? Now before I get started, if you like the content on this channel, I'll appreciate it very much if you would consider giving this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for considering, and on with the video. So Coach and Dooney and Bourke are like brands I've been checking out lately. They both are quite like stylish and like good quality leather handbags, yet they both have affordable handbags that won't break the bank. Both brands offer like an incredible range of handbags, and today I want to do a comparison between the two, going over their history, selection, styling, target audience, branding, quality, accessibility, pricing, and finally coming to my final conclusion. Coach versus Dooney and Bourke. Which one is worth it more? Let's get started. Starting off with history. So starting with Dooney and Bourke, it is an American fashion house that makes leather goods. It was founded in 1975, and it is a fashion house that was founded in Connecticut. The company started by selling men's belts and suspenders. Whereas if you look at Coach, Coach has a very rich heritage of a long history that was founded back in 1941. The company began as a family-run workshop in Manhattan, and they created some really beautiful high-quality leather wallets by hand. So looking at history alone, you see Coach has a much longer and richer history. But that's not what I look at when I'm looking at my handbags, at least not alone. So next, let's look at selection. In terms of selection, I find that Coach has a much larger selection in terms of handbags and that are a little bit more on trend, and also a larger color selection as well compared to Dooney and Bourke. So if you're someone who's really into variety, I think that Coach is probably the way to go. At the same time, Coach has a much more of a turnaround in terms of colors and styles, whereas I find that the styles and Dooney and Bourke has a very like classic timeless selection. Styling. Dooney and Bourke are, I think for the most part, more classic looking handbags, and in part I also find that the handbags are a little bit heavier as well on baseline. Coach handbags, on the other hand, I find are a little bit more stylish and more on trend. The silhouettes are more unique, and of course it has the really classic Coach logo on it, like usually like front and center in many of the handbags. Whereas I find that Dooney and Bourke styles are a little bit more minimalistic. Sometimes the logoing is there, but it's not as distinct compared to the classic C logo from Coach. I think recent releases from Coach, however, their styles are really like on trend. I love how a lot of the handbags are actually like new it bags that are on the scene that are sold out. And I think a lot of these new handbags have really helped Coach re-establish itself as being a company to watch out for in the mid-range luxury scene. Dooney, on the other hand, I feel like are more timeless designs, but they are silhouettes that are very simple and practical. Target audience. For Coach, they're obviously targeting a more youthful audience, and Coachtopia is a clear example of this as they work towards a more sustainable options, a more youthful look. Whereas for Dooney, I find that their target audience is like more seasoned or more like older audience, but the handbags you can see is like no bells or whistle, just like a good old classic. Branding. There seems to be more excitement about Coach's rebranding. It is definitely more visible out of the two brands, and I'm referring to Coach here. I really do think that Coach is having its moment and really shining for some of these new handbag releases in the last few years that has been like talked about all over social media. The brand has really reinvented itself and definitely one to watch out for in the coming years. On the other hand, I do find that Dooney has less bag drops and definitely less promotion compared to Coach, But this is probably a more strategic move with the intended audience in mind for Dooney, because they're generally an older audience or more mature audience. You'll find that Dooney and Bourke have ads mainly in fashion magazines, but the company doesn't have a very strong social media presence. Quality. I feel like quality is such an important component when we're deciding between like different brands. Dooney has a wider variety of leathers, I would say, compared to Coach, including pebble leather, smooth leather, texture leather, and exotic leather. I do find that Dooney has more consistency in terms of its quality, but I've heard nothing but great things about Dooney. And in comparison, I hear that like it's a little bit better compared to Coach in terms of like keeping consistent quality. While it's true that vintage Coach is a lot better in quality compared to what you can get in a store nowadays, I do find that the quality of Coach handbags have waned over the years. And I'm definitely hearing more defects from Coach handbags compared to Dooney bags nowadays. Accessibility. I think that Coach definitely is more accessible given its online presence as well as in store across like North America as well as Asia. While Coach handbags are more accessible, it could be a con as well because it does make the handbags less unique. As for Dooney, I do find that they have an online presence. You can purchase the handbags online, but like they're mostly sold in department stores such as Macy's or Nordstrom. While there is online and also their catalog, the company operates much less in terms of stores internationally. Next is pricing. Coach is definitely, I think, previously more affordable, but I think there has been like many exceptions. One thing to account for when looking at pricing is that like Coach has way more sales compared to Dooney, just because like it has both retail and outlet, and there's definitely more turnover in terms of styles and colors, and you're more likely to find a discounted handbag at Coach at exceptional price sometimes. With that said, I do find that Coach handbags do have a very wide range in terms of pricing. The pricing for Coach can be anywhere from, let's say, $120 up to $1,400, and of course there's outliers for special python related material that's up to $2,000 plus dollars. Whereas for Dooney, the price ranges between $100 up to like $1,500, but no major outliers for exotic leathers. It really depends on the size and the material of the bag. So in comparison between the two brands, I think they're pretty similar, but if you're looking at like some of their best-selling bags or like their top range bags, I find that like some of the Coach bags are really like outpricing some of the Dooney bags. What do you guys think? So what is my final conclusion? Coach versus Dooney and Bourke handbags, which one is worth it more? I think that both brands offer a wide range of bags that are available in very affordable pricing, making it a really great option if you're looking for a good handbag that won't break the bank. I do value being on trend and having a variety of colors, and if that is something you're looking for, more fun handbags that are more current, I think Coach is definitely the way to go. However, if you value like a good classic with consistent quality and leather, like attention to craftsmanship and durable materials, I think Dooney is the brand to go for. For me personally, I just love Coach. I think it's specifically because I feel like Coach recently have been hitting all the trends and it fits more of my style as of late, but who knows, things might change in the future. I think that Dooney does give me a more nostalgic vibe, but in the end, I don't think we have to necessarily be brand loyal. If you love a bag, you love the bag, and it doesn't necessarily have to be just one specific brand of handbags. So that's my 2 cents on the conversation of Coach versus Dooney Bourke. I would love to hear from you. Which handbag brand do you prefer? Are you a fan of Coach? Or do you prefer the Dooney brand more? And from your personal experience, feel free to comment below. How has the durability and longevity of your handbags been? Well, Thank you so much for joining me on this review of Coach versus Dooney, and I would love to start a conversation below on what your personal experience is with the two brands. Well, that's it for now. Thank you so much for joining me on another mommy review, and I will see you next time. Take care and stay safe, everyone. Bye for now.